All right, so you already know that it's important to focus on your brand for the long term, but how do you create a strategy that really takes into account the metrics that allow you to know that you're on the right track? Well, the first thing that you want to do is some audience listening. Audience listening is that thing that you do where you pay attention to what people are saying about your brand. Because in the end, what people think about your brand, what they feel about your brand, is really what creates that messaging around your brand. The next up is your brand pillars. You really need to look into what your brand pillars are and kind of start to define what those things mean for your brand, because they're going to shape the messaging that you put out to your audience, and you're going to find out what your audience cares about the most. You want to think about some of those content topics that are core to your brand, but also don't forget that your audience has things that they care about too. So take that into consideration as you're developing those content plans. Think about your products and the benefits that they provide to your audience, but also think about how it makes your audience feel. After you've established what these brand pillars are, some of the core messaging that you have, you really have to think about how you're going to distribute this content to your audience. Because in the end, if you don't get it to them, none of the messaging really matters. Take a look at the different platforms that you can be using, different outlets, different ways that you can get this message out to people, whether it's podcasts, blogs, newsletters, vlogs like this, videos. Video content is huge, and it's a great way to get your messages out. If it works for you, then try it. Otherwise, stick to writing. It just doesn't matter what way you do it, as long as you pick something that works for you and your audience. All right, last but not least, it's important to track meaningful metrics. It's easy to get stuck on likes and views, but really those are just vanity metrics. You want to look at the engagement of your posts, not just one post, all of your posts across your entire brand. Remember, one of the most important parts of this entire process is making sure that we're creating a meaningful experience for your audience and one that also builds trust. So if you've gone through these 4 steps and you've started building that brand strategy, you should be well on your way. All right, so I really just scratched the surface on these 4 tips. If you'd like to see more about each of them, make sure you check out the post on the Raisin Brand blog.